Just hold on, man. Alright, so in the last video I explained why, doing more weight training than cardio works out a lot better. You do weight training, you do hour weight training, you do hour cardio. Weight training is going to burn the same amount of calories, maybe even more than an hour of cardio, let's say running. And you're actually, training your muscles so it could grow. So you're getting more benefits from weight training than you are from cardio. You're making, you're putting tension on your muscle, and you're burning calories. When in cardio you're only burning calories, so you're getting more benefits from weight training. For that video, just click right here. But I know a lot of you, you don't feel that that's enough. You want to just, you might be overweight. You want to burn a lot of fat, and you want to, use everything you have and do it as fast as possible. So first thing is, the reason why cardio gets such a negative feedback, everybody's saying, oh, cardio burns muscle, blah blah blah. That's all you hear. That's not what I'm saying, that cardio burns muscle. What I'm basically trying to get to is, when people do cardio, they tend to be in a caloric deficit so freaking crazy that they're basically starving themselves and burning, thousands of calories doing cardio. They don't have sufficient, proteins, calories to, to maintain their weight, to maintain their muscle. The muscle that they worked for, they're basically just burning it off while eating less. Eating just too little and just way too much cardio. People exaggerate the amount of, calories to cardio ratio. When you do cardio, you have to eat. As simple as that. If you're gonna do a lot of cardio, if you want to, put in that extra work, whether it's for sport, for something like that. You see football players, they get skinny. They actually gain weight and they do a ton load of cardio. But the reason that happens is because they eat the calories. They don't just, diet down, eat 1,500 calories and then, do a whole bunch of hours of cardio. They don't do that. They eat calories. If you look at Michael Phelps, he eats 12,000 calories because he's doing a shitload of cardio. So you have to compensate. If you're gonna do a lot of cardio, you have to compensate with the calories. Otherwise, over time, it's not gonna happen like this. Over time, you keep doing that, stressing out your body, putting a whole tons of hours of cardio, and eating just a little bit, little nuts here and there. You're gonna end up burning the muscle that you have. You're gonna lose weight, but once you lose that weight, you're still gonna have fat, because instead of burning fat, you were actually burning a little bit of fat and a lot of muscle. So when you decide, you're eating 2,000 calories, let's say, and you're weight training and everything, but you don't see that you're losing a lot of fat. And let's say you want to do an extra hour of cardio, separate days, maybe the same day, whatever. You just want to do an extra hour of cardio on top of your weight training. Let's say you want to go jogging. You want to jog, or you're playing basketball for an hour. If you're eating 2,000 calories and you're burning, a lot more calories doing that activity, doing more cardio with the extra hour, and you're still eating 2,000 calories, you're gonna lose weight fast. You're gonna lose weight incredibly fast. You're gonna be like, holy shit, Batman, I'm getting skinny. That's exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna get skinny. You're gonna think that you're losing weight, you're losing all the fat, but in fact, you're losing muscle as well. So you don't lose muscle, and the fat that you wanted to lose, those last 10 pounds, if anything, they're gonna stay with you. Just the fact that your calories were just way too low for the amount of activity you were doing. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna add an extra hour extra hour of cardio, you have to increase your calories. Increase it, just by 500. Increase it depending how many calories you burn. If your cardio session burns, let's say 600 calories, just increase 300 to compensate. That way you don't lose, weight too fast. Because if you lose weight too fast, you're just gonna, you're gonna hit basically the wall where you're too skinny. You lost the weight, but you still have fat, on your belly. You don't see your abs, or you don't see any definition. So let's say you want to lose 2 pounds every week. Every week you want to lose just 2 pounds, and that's gonna be 8 pounds total every single month. 2 pounds is pretty fast, so you're risking over time. And I always say over time because it's not gonna happen like this. Over time, you're gonna end up losing muscle. Just the fact that you're going by it so fast. So if you're gonna lose 2 pounds of muscle every month, every week, I mean, you have to make sure you're eating sufficient protein. Protein is what's gonna maintain your muscle. Protein is the building block of muscle. Protein. Make sure you're getting carbs as well. You don't have to cut off all your carbs. Healthy fats. Make sure your macronutrients. You're hitting your macronutrients. That's gonna help you maintain a lot of muscle mass while you cut down. If you're a beginner will most likely maintain all his muscle and actually even maybe build new muscle. Just the fact that your body's so new that it's like, look, we need muscle for this. It's that simple. Beginners tend to just grow muscle like that even in a caloric deficit. But let's say if you're overweight, you've been training for a while and you want to get those 2 pounds every single week, you have to play around with your calories. And sometimes you can't even listen to the scale, so use a measurement. That way, you could just measure your waist. But if you're seeing good, 2 pounds every week, you notice you're losing that, just make sure you're eating sufficient calories. The best way to lose weight is either 1.5 pounds or 1 pound every single week. That way, you're not losing weight too fast, because the more weight you lose, the weaker you feel. The weaker you feel, the less weight you can lift in the gym, and the less stress. Your muscle's gonna be like, he's not lifting 90s anymore. Why should we stay? I mean, let's get the fuck out of here. You're gonna lose muscle, just the fact that your body doesn't need that to handle that amount of stress. So you're not working it out the way you used to. So little by little, you start getting weaker. You lose more weight too fast. Little by little, that's the way it happens. Little by little, you start getting weaker and stuff, etc. And just make sure if you're gonna lose weight fast that you're eating a high protein. And like I said, I'll put a video up for that. Count your macros. You don't have to really count them, but just make sure you're getting sufficient macronutrients to maintain it, and that your calories, are not too low where you're doing a lot of activities. Remember, when you're gonna do a lot of cardio, whatever you're gonna do, an hour or two, you're playing sports, just make sure you always have the calories to compensate. Compensate for the muscle breakdown. Have your proteins. Try to hit your macros. Carbs do not get you fat. All that matters in the end of the day is the total amount of calories. If they're too low and you're doing a lot of activities and you don't, your calories are this and this is your activity, over time you're gonna lose weight too fast. You're gonna get skinny. You're still gonna have that fat that's not gonna show your muscle definition, because there is the fucking muscle. You burned it all. So just remember that. Try to hit your macros. Protein is gonna save your muscle. Lifting heavy is gonna save your muscle. If you're lifting, let's say with 50s, for 10 reps, really focus every time you go to the gym. Step in the gym and make your body do that. Tell your freaking body, be like, yo, we need to lift 50. So fucking, psych yourself up, go Super Saiyan, and then just go for 10 reps, go for more while you're cutting. You really gotta psych yourself up. You gotta train hard, and always, like I always say, do not eat too little calories. That's why cardio gets such a negative impact, because people tend to just do, they tend to jog miles and then just eat just a little bit of calories. That's all it is. Compensate, play with your calories. I can't tell you the exact amount that you need to lose 2 pounds or 1 pound of fat. You have to play around with it. For myself, right now I'm burning 2,000. I'm eating 2,200 calories every single day, and I'm doing an hour and a half of weight training and about 30 minutes at home doing push-ups, lunges, etc. So that's why I'm eating 2,200. Before I was only eating 2,000, but I increased it by 200 calories to compensate for my home workouts. That way I have sufficient protein and I don't lose weight too fast. I want to do it real slow. I'm actually doing half a pound of, I'm trying to do a half a pound. Even though I don't really look at the scale that much, but that's my goal. Lose it nice and slow. I'm also going to put a link to my blog. I'm going to explain everything in this video there on my page. That way, for those of you that are a little bit confused about it, you could read it. And it makes a lot more sense in writing than in video, because in video, sometimes some people get confused with what I say. So just check out that blog, and it shows you more, a little bit simpler, so you could read it. Link below.